Hi, welcome to Plaid Lattes. I'm AJ, and in today's video we will be making Nanaimo bar truffles. So if that's what you want to see, then do not adjust your screen. Alright, so I will link the original recipe below as well as the recipe that I'm using, which is slightly modified. I tend to cut down the sugar a lot and stuff like this. And for this one in specific, I had to up the butter just because I am putting in less sugar. So, just shy of 3/4 cup of powdered sugar in with your little over 1/4 cup of butter. I know that sounds like a weird measurements, but it's to your taste. If you want a little less butter and then more sugar, do that. But if you want to do less sugar, then I would suggest putting a little more butter so you don't lose out on your amount and consistency. Thanks, Mom.
Anytime.
And then you want to I add a nice kind of more heaped tablespoon of custard powder. Since I'm lessening the sugar, I do want there to be a lot of flavor. Now normally for Nanaimo bars you would cream this together. I whip it.
Whip it good.
So, I made a mistake since I don't make this all the time. This is a at Christmas time kind of thing. Because I add more butter and less sugar, I also add about a tablespoon of whipping cream. It just helps it mix better and you end up with less of a mess everywhere. I will remember to put down the correct measurements below. Thanks. So, once you have it whipped, make sure to clean off your beaters. And a really great tip is if you spatula everything so it's together, you won't miss out on all of the filling. And then you take a cookie sheet with wax paper and parchment paper, not wax paper. You can use wax paper though, this just happens to be parchment paper. Either one works. And then you want one of the smallest scoops that you can find. If you use one with the spring in it, it just makes it a lot easier and a lot less messy. And then you're going to take a nice amount and spring it on here. Since we whipped it, don't roll it yet or you're just gonna smush it. You filming me? So once you've scooped out all of your fillings and have used your spatula to clean the bowl as much as possible, freeze them. These are a little bigger than they will be at the end. But what you're going to do is freeze them for about 5 minutes, come back, cut them all in half, and roll them into your perfect balls. Be right back with that. So once your larger sized custard truffles have hardened a bit, you're going to, with very clean hands, cut them in half, roll them a little. You want to work as quickly as possible so you don't remelt your butter. If they're not in perfect circles, it's okay. Alright, so once you have all of your bigger custard truffles cut in half and rolled into little oblong type shapes, they're not going to be perfect. We're not perfect people. You can have a friend, if need be, or yourself pop them in the freezer while things drop and you prepare your ingredients for the next layer. So, in a glass bowl over top of a pot filled with water, you are going to melt half a cup of butter, 5 tablespoons of cocoa powder, and for my recipe, 2 tablespoons of sugar. Once they have melted completely, you are going to put in 1 beaten egg and stir it until it gets thick. We'll be right back after that. 1 1/4 cup of graham cracker crumbs underneath the 1 cup of coconut flour, 1/2 cup of almond flour, and your beaten egg ready to go in once your butter ingredients are melted. Alright, so as soon as you have added in your egg and it's thickened up a bit, you're going to take it right off the heat. Make sure you put it on a pop sticker or something like that. Then you will add in your last ingredients, so your coconut and graham crackers. I just have these in separate bowls because I didn't pull out a big enough bowl in the first place. And your almond flour And then your corn syrup, about 1/4 cup. If you don't have one of these wonderful devices, just make sure you spray your measurement cup with cooking spray or else it will stick horribly. And then you're just going to mix it together. This won't take too long. So once everything is mixed together and you don't see any, weird ribbons of other colors leaking through, you want to work pretty quickly. This will have cooled down because of the ingredients that you've just added to it. And you want to use a bigger scoop than the one you did before. Scoop it into your nice clean hand. Place it flat. Pick up one of your wonderful little custard centers and roll them up. If you feel like you have a little too much batter, feel free to just pinch it off quick. Try not to get the truffle in. And roll, place down, and then continue. So once you have rolled all of these, warning, this is messy. These are not called, clean and perfect truffles. This is messy, but once you have rolled all of them, we will pop them in the freezer for at least 10 minutes, probably 20, and then we will come back for the final step.
Yum.
Alright, so once you've given your truffles a chance to freeze, you're going to melt. Now, the original recipe says a cup, but I find you want closer to 2 cups of chocolate and then about a tablespoon of butter. And you're going to melt it all. You can just do this in the microwave, easy peasy. Now, my little trick for dipping chocolates like this is you dip half, flip, and set. By the time you come back, this one will be completely hardened, and then you can dip again. So, once you've dipped your chocolates, like I said, the way I do it, dip the top half in first. By the time you come back around, it's hardened, dip the other side. It's just a lot less mess unless you actually have one of those little truffle spoon things, which I don't. So, once you've done that, you can pop them back in the freezer if you want for a few minutes, and then they're perfectly ready to eat. These freeze great, so you can wrap them in a couple and keep them all through the year. Other than that, they make a great addition to your Christmas lineup. And like the spatula says, have yourself a merry little Christmas.